Welcome to another edition of Popcorn Bucket List. The holiday season is upon us. As we're recording this, it is raining outside. That's raining. A little confusing.
It is, but it's nice it's not snow.
It is kind of nice.
As of right now, it's not snow. So
knowing Minnesota, we walked in, it's raining. We walked out, it's going to be
snow.
Freezing and icy.
I have to shovel out my car.
Yeah, we're going to have to warm it up for 20 minutes, get the auto start cooking and everything. But we've got a lot to look forward to, a lot of movies to cover. This might be a little bit longer episode. We'll try to keep it short. But first things first, before we get into the preview, Ryan, you present a challenge to everyone each month. Tell them.
All right. So this month, we have 2 tickets to the CEC Marshall 6 movie theater. Great. I might have done a question similar to this before, but it's way different, 100% different.
I've already done the graphic. You already did a movie quote last month. So it is actually very similar to what you've already done. But, like he says, 2 tickets to Marshall 6. You're going to want them this month. Like I said, there's a lot of great movies to come out
a lot
this
of good
month.
Yep.
So while you go present the challenge, I'm just going to finish up some work over here. Just don't mind me. I'm just going to look over some things. So you do you. You do you.
All right. So this month, for the question to win 2 tickets to the movie theater, you have to tell me where this is from. I am the gift. Whoa, is that my name on there?
No, that's not it. What? I didn't. What was that? What?
Was that my name on there?
You're done already? That was quick. That was really quick.
Oh,
your name? No, that was. I know plenty of people with that specific spelling of that name.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's not anything.
Oh.
So that's a good quick challenge. You're gonna wanna if you want that prize. Be sure to comment your answer in the YouTube video. That's the only place we accept it.
Yep.
It's just easier for us to sort it out that way. With that, let's move into the December preview. Like I said, a lot to cover here.
A lot of movies.
So let's just get into it. The Power of the Dog is the first movie coming out here on December 1st. That is a Netflix movie. It is a Western movie starring Benedict Cumberbatch, Kristen Dunst, and fan of the show, Jesse Plemons.
Fan of the show.
We may be reworking those words to say we are a fan of him and we are part of the show. So legally speaking, that is not libel, lawyers.
Yes.
Lawyers out there. But yeah, Jesse Plemons, love seeing him.
I'm going to see this movie for 2 reasons. One, for him. Mm-hmm. Second reason, I think this connects to the new Spider-Man movie.
How do you think that?
It's got Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
And
Kristen Dunst
was
from MJ from the first Raimi's film.
So I'm just saying.
And I'm okay with Jesse Plemons being in the MCU.
Yeah, it's going to happen, so might as well make it the year of the dog.
Might as well. The year of the dog?
The year of the dog.
The power of the dog.
The power of the dog.
But yeah, this is a Western movie. In case I haven't mentioned that before, one thing that disappointed me about this trailer, about a 2-3 minute trailer, no dogs.
No dogs.
Ever.
It's I see a horse.
A lot of horses.
I don't see any dogs.
No dogs. Nothing.
I don't know.
Coming out that first Friday of the month, Friday, December 3rd. Speaking of dogs, one of the movies coming out, Wolf. This is a theatrical release. The main character thinks he is a wolf.
Yeah. And he has a weird relationship with a girl that thinks she's a
bobcat.
Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, it's kind of more of a psychological thing. Like, it's, in the truest sense of the word, because it's like the movie presents it as this like psychological disorder that a lot of people have, or a lot of people in this movie have. I don't know if it's a very common thing. I guess, where these people think they are different animals. So the main character actually thinks he's a wolf. Yep. He starts this relationship with a girl who thinks she's a bobcat. There's a girl, there's a shot in the trailer where it shows a bunch of people and their animals they think they are. There's a girl who thinks she's a spider, which I really hope they show because I would love to see her try and climb the walls.
Yeah.
And maybe this is the origin movie of Spider-Gwen. There we go. Another MCU connection.
Yep.
We're doing them all.
It's happening.
We're connecting them all to that guy.
Right
You see that poster?
He's ready.
I think I see Wolf in there somewhere.
Yeah.
He's in the corner. He's on one of Doc Ock's tentacles.
Yep. You don't know what universe that's from.
Yeah.
It's multiverse.
There's a person who thinks they're an octopus. It's Doc Ock.
Yeah. There you go.
Built robotic arms for it. But coming out that same weekend, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. This is a Disney Plus release only. animated movie reboot based on the popular book series. They had already done the live action version of these movies. I actually thought they were kind of good. Kind of funny.
Yeah, they were pretty
clever.
They were pretty good.
This kind of is just pretty much a shot-for-shot remake, but they're doing it in the animated style. It makes it look like the book characters, how they were animated in the book.
And like I said, it's Disney. It'll do well. Just another animated movie. Now, however, it is on Disney Plus, and Disney has some big movies coming out this month. So I don't know if maybe they're going to try and tie it in. I know Loki might tie in. Mm-hmm. I know. So Diary of a Wimpy Kid may be a crossover. Might tie in. I don't know.
Yep. I think I see Freddy in there somewhere too. I'm just going to keep pointing to that.
Loaded diaper?
He's in the barcode.
Barcode.
He's in the barcode scan.
Yep.
Coming out the very next weekend, Friday, December 10th. One of the first movies coming out is National Champions. This one's actually very interesting. This is a sports movie that really doesn't involve the sport that it's revolved around.
There's almost no sport playing in the film.
If you look at the shots in the trailer of them playing football, it's so clear that they're like on a studio set with where it's like the lights are down and they're so clearly not on a field.
Yeah.
Because there was no point in them shooting it on a field. There's no big game moment.
Nope.
Even though this all leads up to a championship, there's none of that.
Yep.
Basically what this is about is, and this is not based on a true story, although I could see something like this happening in the near future.
Next year.
Could very well happen next year.
Yeah.
Basically this big hotshot quarterback, right before the biggest game of their lives and their college careers, basically organizes a player strike. He argues, look, I'm already like on the fast track to the NFL. I'm going to be fine. One of my best friends, who's almost just as talented as me, he's not going to see anything after this. He's basically going to go back to being near homelessness. He's been putting his body, his life on the line and hasn't seen a dime. Meanwhile, his coach, who he does respect, is like, well, he makes a couple million a year. Like, when are the players going to be paid for the work they put in? And he organizes this player strike right before the biggest game of the year.
Yep. And I think it's going to be awesome because I had a very interesting viewpoint on those because I didn't necessarily think before I went to college and played sports. I didn't really think like, oh, you got a free education. It's not that big a deal until I got to college and I saw what the real world's like, and it completely changed my mind 100%. And I think this film, for people that maybe don't necessarily think about the NCAA and about college athletics and paying athletes, if they see this film, it's going to shine a whole different light on it, and I think it's going to be awesome. Mm-hmm. But I can't remember the head coach for the football team that they're playing.
Oh, yeah, you bring up a good point. Who is that? Who was that actor?
Is that J.K. Simmons?
J.K. Simmons himself.
You know
who plays J. Jonah Jameson in 2 of the Spider-Man series.
Yes.
This is his origin story.
Yeah. Obviously he did something before he ran the paper. Uh-huh. So, getting kicked out of a high end.
He probably gets fired at the end of this and then goes and starts the Daily Bugle.
So it all works out.
It all works out in the end. Yep. Coming out that same weekend, West Side Story. This is a theatrical release, the Steven Spielberg remake of the classic musical. All right, so before we talk about this movie, little disclosure. We shot this on a different day. We shot this episode on a different day, a couple days ago. Technical issue happened, and now we are reshooting it.
Yes.
When we shot this originally a couple days ago, both of us were kind of in agreement. We didn't think this movie would be good.
We tore this movie apart.
We did not. I may have disgraced Steven Spielberg's name. The audio does not exist anymore, so no one can use it for blackmail.
It's not real. Yeah.
Since then, early reviews have started to come out on Twitter that may be making us eat our words. So maybe the audio failing on our first recording was God's way of saving us from embarrassment.
Yes.
And now kind of take a step back and I would like to take a personal moment here. I'm looking into the camera. Mr. Spielberg, I apologize if what people are saying is true about this movie. I truly apologize for what I said a couple days ago. I take it back. I hope you prove me wrong. I can only hope and pray you prove me wrong.
I was not planning on watching this movie, but now I'm actually going to give it a chance.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a chance.
I have to. Another movie coming out that same day. This is a Netflix release, Back to the Outback.
Oh, yeah. West Side Story takes place in New York, right?
It does.
Yep.
It does.
That's where
it takes place in old-time New York. We'll maybe see Spider-Man Noir.
Ooh, that'd be
Spider-Man
cool.
New York.
Yep.
with Nick Cage live action.
Nick Cage, yes.
Coming up in West Side Story. But yeah, the other movie coming out, Back to the Outback. There's so many we got to talk about here. I don't know if we really need to talk about this one too much. It doesn't look
I can
good.
skip it.
Yeah. But another movie coming out that same weekend. This is an Amazon Prime release, Encounter. Your boy Riz Ahmed is back.
Let's go.
You had a lot of good things to say the last time he worked with Amazon Prime for a movie. So this one, a little bit more sci-fi. That's a little bit more up my alley. Don't want to give too much away for this movie. Also, mainly because the movie leaves a lot of questions.
Yeah.
There's
you see him
things that are implied, and then there's other things that are implied. It's like,
and they don't show. They don't show anything, and it's him carrying around a gun, and then you see him again carrying around a stick
with his kids.
His kids.
Is he pretending with the kids? Or
yeah.
do the kids even exist?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who knows?
You don't know.
No. And
movie doesn't know.
Sound of Metal, he was fantastic. Mm-hmm. And I'm really excited looking forward to him playing more of a army man kind of a thing, but not really an army man kind of guy. So it's going to be awesome.
Also, Riz Ahmed played the villain in Venom.
Oh.
Venom has now been, spoilers, I guess that's kind of implied now, crossed over into the Spider-Man universe. He resurrects himself. And the Venom symbiotes are going to be an encounter.
Yep. Can't wait.
Got another one down. Keep going. Let's go. Next weekend, Friday, December 17th, another movie that the trailer for really left a lot more questions than it answered. Yep. Nightmare Alley. This is a Guillermo del Toro directed movie, starring Bradley Cooper and Kate Blanchett. Sorry, my mouth is kind of dry. Kate Blanchett, who it's sort of a monster mystery, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know if the movie meant to do this, but I almost got the implication that Bradley Cooper was almost like the Wolfman.
Yeah, it looks very interesting as it could go, like almost like a noir kind of a style, but super artsy. I don't know. I really enjoy his movies. He has an interesting look, and he expresses feelings and ideas differently than a lot of other directors. And it looks cool. I love Bradley Cooper. He's awesome. Kate Blanchett, awesome.
Bradley Cooper and Kate Blanchett, both already featured in the MCU.
Yes, they are.
Some of these movies are just too easy to connect to the MCU.
Yeah.
This is the secret origin of Raccoon and Hela.
Yep.
But we've been teasing it this whole time here. The other movie, this is the big one that's coming out that weekend. Spiderman No Way Home. Another thing that we now know, because we're filming this a couple days later, even a couple days ago, we knew this movie was going to be big. Already, the big news coming out right now is the ticket pre-sales.
Yep.
And they're through the roof right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people are acting like this is the golden ticket from the Willy Wonka movies. Like, everyone's trying to buy up as many as they can.
Yeah.
People are probably trying to forge them and everything at this point. People have loved Spider-Man for generations, even before he was on the big screen.
Mm-hmm.
There's been so many versions of him. Here you have Spider-Man, potentially multiple Spider-Men, for sure multiverse. You've got him facing so many iconic villains played by so many iconic actors already. There is so much hype for this movie. And as much as people have loved the Spider-Man movies in the MCU so far, they've always kind of been their own contained stories. Like, they haven't really had any huge universe consequences or implications as other MCU movies have.
Yep.
This is going to kick off the next set of the MCU. As much as these TV shows that Disney Plus has been releasing have been kind of doing that, the fact of the matter is not everybody watches these shows, because not everybody has Disney Plus.
Correct.
My dad is an MCU fan. He doesn't have Disney Plus. He doesn't know what happened in Loki. He doesn't know what happened in WandaVision.
Yep.
So this is kind of his only gateway into
what's about to happen.
All the things they've already established in these shows, they're going to have to reestablish in this movie. Yep. And it is going to have huge implications regardless of what happens.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be like the first time when you watched the first Avengers movie.
Exactly.
I think that's the feeling that it's going to get.
That's the hype behind this.
Yes.
And that's what's so great about this character is you can argue, well, there are other heroes in this, but at the center, everyone's going to this because of Spider-Man.
Yep.
With the Avengers, that same huge world implication took 6 heroes.
Yep.
Here you've got the main one.
Yep.
Arguably 2 if you include Doctor Strange.
And going back to tickets, I know here in Marshall at the Marshall 6 CEC movie theater, they're having
They've had to add showtimes they usually don't add.
Yep. We have 5 showtimes for the
Thursday premiere.
For the Thursday premiere. Usually it's a one show. Sometimes
if it's a big
2.
one, 2.
Yep. And they're having 5.
They're playing movies earlier than they usually do.
Yep.
That's how big this movie is.
Go get your tickets.
Yep.
Go get your tickets.
Yeah, that's the big one. Let's just knock out a few others that are coming out that weekend, both streaming service ones. Swan Song, Apple TV Plus movie, stars Mahershala Ali, great actor, one of the best we have right now.
Yep.
So what do? They set up some sci-fi scenario where it's either a cloning thing or some sort of sci-fi thing where he now has to act amongst himself.
Yep.
I mean, what better scene is there than a Mahershala Ali scene than a scene where there's 2 Mahershala Alis?
Yes. It gives off Black Mirror vibes, a couple episodes of that. And it's like he, without giving spoilers, it's in the trailer. He's about to die, so he's going to transfer his consciousness and everything into exact clone or replica or whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. And he can't tell his family, so they don't know that it's the clone or replica or whoever. And it looks fantastic. It looks awesome. Now, I know because this comes out after Spider-Man, it's not connected to the MCU at all. I know that for sure.
Except for the fact that Mahershala Ali's already been featured in the MCU and is also playing Blade.
Yeah! I guess there's a chance.
Maybe that's the immortality aspect. He turns into a vampire.
Yes.
He becomes Blade. Coming out that same weekend on Hulu, this is another sci-fi thing, Mother Android. Picture like zombie apocalypse, but like with robots.
Yes.
They just want to kind of kill humanity kind of thing.
Yeah. What did I say before? It's like kind of like I Am Legend with what was the other movie? I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Yeah. But it looks cool.
Yeah.
All the zombies or robots are coming to kill you.
Yeah.
Just watch out, be careful. And don't have a bait. Oh,
Chloe Grace Moretz is in this.
It was I Am Legend.
I remember what it was now. Yep.
Mixed with Quiet Place.
Yes,
because she's trying
that's almost exactly. That was probably. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the pitch Mooney.
Yeah,
comes into that producer's office, kicks in. He's got like 3 Red Bulls in him right now. I was like, listen up, I Am Legend meets A Quiet Place.
Yes,
and they just start chucking money at him. Like, go for it, go. Next Wednesday, December 22nd. You think Spider-Man was the big thing, big ticket? There's some other ones here that I think could be big tickets as well. One of the ones being The King's Man. Theatrical release has been pushed for almost over a year due to COVID. This is the prequel to the popular Kingsman franchise. I'm a huge fan of the first Kingsman movie. Second one's all right. This one, I think, will be a great origin story. It's set in a more historical time. It's set in World War I. They're going up against Rasputin, which the trailers make him look really cartoonish, but if you kind of read up on him, they might not be exaggerating.
If you know the story of Rasputin, this is the guy. This is him.
They might even be downplaying him, actually.
Yeah, it's Rasputin's a crazy guy. Crazy story. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But I love World War I timepiece movies. I think it's going to be great. And we talked about the gadgets.
Mm-hmm. One of the big things about the Kingsman franchise that reintroduced to the spy genre, because the spy genre in movies had kind of gone away from special fun gadgets. This kind of reintroduced it. And so one of the scenes in the trailer is Ralph Fiennes, who's one of the Kingsman agents, is like, he's so giddy like about their new gadget. He's like, it's called a parachute. It'll allow you to jump out of a moving plane.
Yeah.
And like we see parachutes in movies all the time, but yeah, that was a new thing.
That was awesome.
Yeah. That was something crazy. And even his friends kind of like look at him like, no, that doesn't gonna work. But speaking of revolutionizing the action genre, the other movie coming out, The Matrix Resurrection. 4th movie in the Matrix franchise, 20 years in the making. I don't know if there's a more polarizing movie series, because the very first Matrix movie, for me personally, is in my top 10 movies of all time, period.
Mm-hmm.
The second and third Matrix movie are in my bottom 20 of all time, period.
Okay. All right.
So this movie, I'm okay if it's just fine, and it just kind of breaks that middle there. So I'm cautiously optimistic about this one.
I'm excited to see it. I really like Keanu Reeves. I like The Matrix. Like you said, the first one was fantastic. Second two are okay. But I think this is going to be a good I'm hoping it's a good film, a good solid follow-up. It's new stories, a couple of new characters. And it's just I think it's going to be almost I don't want to say a fan service film because I think it's going to be more than that. Mm-hmm. But I am excited to see Keanu Reeves in the jacket again.
See him kicking butt again.
Yep.
Yeah. And then finally that day, Sing 2 is a theatrical release, animated sequel to Sing, which basically if American Idol was filled with little cute animals. Second movie this month to include a animated koala bear.
Yes.
Never thought that would happen.
That would never happen.
Whoever had that on their bingo card for the 2020 movie season, I applaud you because I wouldn't be able to call that. But yeah, I thought the first Sing was pretty good. I thought the music was kind of fun and all those elements.
The voice actors were pretty good.
Voice actors were pretty good. So unfortunately, this one's just, we don't have time to talk about it. It's just kind of buried under two of the biggest franchises right now.
Yep.
Later that Friday, December 24th, which is Christmas Eve, two movies coming out that you wouldn't have nothing to do with Christmas, if I'm going to be honest. Interesting release dates here. First one, Licorice Pizza. This is a Paul Thomas Anderson film set in the 70s. It's kind of bonkers.
Yeah. Trailer, it's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
What's happening?
I don't really know what's happening here. I just know Bradley Cooper's in it again. Second time we're mentioning Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
And he's beating up car windows at one point.
Yep.
I'm not going to get into my whole rant on that. We don't have time for that. First time we recorded this, I had like 5 minutes worth just on Bradley Cooper breaking car windows. And if you think I'm joking,
he doesn't need to do that.
He doesn't need to do that.
Doesn't need to do that.
If you think I'm joking, it was 5 minutes. It was actually 5 minutes. But also coming out that same day, Don't Look Up. This is a Netflix movie. Adam McKay directed and written. I love Adam McKay. He's one of my favorite working directors. We've talked about in the show how much we love Vice, how much we love The Big Short. I think those two movies, their style is something so totally new. I think it blends like documentary and the narrative film genre.
Yep.
And so I think he's kind of onto something. This one is kind of a satirical look. It's more straight narrative film, kind of not based on a true story or anything. Just kind of talking about how we just kind of ignore problems and everything. Mm-hmm. And the problem I have with this, just based on the trailer, is it seems like this movie thinks it's funnier than it is.
Yeah, and that's what I'm nervous about. Like, it's got a great cast, a stellar cast, and like Leonardo DiCaprio. In half of the trailer, it's just him. And he takes his inhaler and he's nervous and he's looking around like this. Like it's gonna be funny.
But it's like 40% of the trailer.
Yeah, it's like
and like you mentioned the cast list. I mean, if you look at just the number of Oscar nominations alone, is probably more. The number is probably higher than the years I've been alive.
Yeah, it's wild, and I hope we're wrong, and I hope it hits it right on the mark, and it's fantastic. But I do fear that it could be into that.
This might be where Adams kind of pushed it.
Yeah.
He's found the line.
Yep.
Coming out the next day, Saturday, December 25th, on Christmas Day. One of the movies coming out is American Underdog. This is a theatrical release, biographical sports movie. So this one is actually going to take place more on the field. Starring Zachary Levi, who they're telling the story, basically the origin story of Kurt Warner, one of the most famous quarterbacks in the NFL. I knew some of the details about his rise. Just watching the trailer, I realized I maybe know about half the story.
Yeah.
And he's a really inspirational guy. He's a really nice guy.
Yeah, it's going to be – I'm super excited for this. I think that – like, I like Zachary. I like him a lot. He's pretty good. But a lot of people don't know the whole story of how he got to where he was and the hardships and struggles that he went through. And I think it's your classic holiday feel-good family underdog, American underdog story. And I'm super excited to see it. I'm a huge football fan. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be good.
Coming out that same day, A Journal for Jordan. This is a theatrical movie directed by Denzel Washington. He doesn't star in it this time. He's just directing it. But it stars Michael B. Jordan. Basically, the story is right before his son is born, his wife kind of tells him, while you're being deployed in Iraq, you should kind of write a journal like of advice and things you want to say to your son just in case you don't make it back. And I think the trailer kind of leaves it up to interpretation whether or not he does.
Yeah.
But still, the point of the movie is like his thoughts and his advice to
Yep.
his son, basically, and everything. So
Yeah, it'll be good.
And finally, Friday, December 31st, Cyrano. This is a theatrical release. Peter Dinklage is basically an expert swordsman. Was he much of a swordsman in Game of Thrones? I can't remember.
No, actually, in Game of Thrones, he
didn't do much with
There
the
was
swords?
one scene where he was like a good sword fighter in the Battle of Blackwater, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Like, he's not okay, maybe a couple of scenes, but he's not
It wasn't as big.
he wasn't a
as
sword
big.
guy. No.
Yeah. So yeah, basically, it's set like in a medieval time. It's not really specified what time period this takes place, but it's kind of a little bit of a convoluted plot. Watching this trailer, he's in love with this woman. This woman turns out is in love with a mutual friend of theirs. So he's like, "All right, I'm gonna help you, bro. Like, let you know, like, hey, this girl loves you." He's like, "I don't know what to say." He's like, "I got you, fam. I'm gonna write some poetry for you." And then the girl thinks that this dude's writing the poetry, but really it's Dinklage's character. Oh, and also it's a musical, apparently.
Yeah,
that
and
just kind of comes out of
Like,
nowhere.
about
in the trailer.
halfway through the trailer, it's like,
Also,
oh,
it's like,
they're
wait.
all singing.
They're all singing.
Oh, and dancing.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a musical.
This is a musical.
Okay. All right.
Maybe Dinklage has got bars.
Yeah,
Have we ever heard him sing before? Did he do a lot of singing in Game of Thrones?
Actually, he might have sang a little bit. Nothing too crazy, but
Okay. But with that, so many movies coming out. The place we like to check them out here is the Marshall Six Theater. They are open during the holiday season. They'll be open during the Christmas time, obviously.
Yep.
We've talked about so many of these big movies coming out around that time. If you want a place to hang out with your family, go check out the Marshall Six Theater. Or if you need a place to get away from your family, go check out the Marshall Six Theater.
if you need Dr. Pepper, they have Dr. Pepper
Big
on
news coming out
tap
this
now.
year. Yeah.
Yeah. So check it out. Dr. Pepper, Marshall 6.
Yeah. Also, if you're still looking for some part-time work, maybe you got to fill a few more hours, get a little bit more extra spending cash, they do still have 1 or 2 spots open. So be sure to check out their website and you can apply there. It's a great opportunity. You get a little extra cash and you get to see the movies for free.
Yeah.
This is a win-win. It's like
Free popcorn if you're a popcorn
free
person.
popcorn. Heck
Yeah.
yeah. You kidding me? That's like my I'm not gonna say it. That's my drug of choice.
Yeah.
If I would say anything. But with that, let's not get too into details because this is a long episode, but I know we both have some number 1 recommends we're really excited about. So, Ryan, just give us a quick 30-second dash, number 1 recommend that you've seen this past month.
30-second dash. Ghostbusters. Go check it out. Stellar cast, stellar action, great callbacks. The acting was great. Beautifully shot, too. Everything was cool. Definitely check it out. It's a good family film, especially over the holidays if you're not watching Spider-Man.
My number 1 recommend for this month was Last Night in Soho. The thing I'm going to say about this, the acting is superb. Edgar Wright is reaching new heights. Last thing I'm going to say, this may be my number 1 recommend of the year. This may be my number 1 of 2021.
You haven't seen the South Park COVID.
That's right. I haven't seen
yet.
I haven't seen the South Park COVID special yet, but that counts as like a TV special,
True,
isn't
true.
it?
Yeah, TV special.
Technicalities. And that is going to do it for us here on this episode of Popcorn Bucket List. We're sorry it's so long, but we try to get it as quick as we could, especially considering how we're recording it for a second time now.
Take 2.
But if you have an answer to Ryan's challenge, or if you have your own movie recommendations for us to check out, be sure to put those in the comments section of the YouTube channel. For myself and Ryan Meyerberg, we'd like to thank you so much for watching, and we hope you have a happy holidays.